The Art of Dialogues sends Bomb1st, Reggie Wright Jr., and John Hyland a cease and desist letter. Oh, and they're in their feelings. But they sued me for copyright infringement, which was fraudulently done. And they laughed about it. You see, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when somebody else does it. But let's get into some of this straight game.
Blackjack. Life is like some cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop this straight game, please tap on what appears to be that little bell notification below this video. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Art of Dialogue has taken a stand against Bomb1st, Reggie Wright Jr., and John Hyland for potential copyright infringement. And from what I've seen from this cease and desist letter right here is serious. Let's go over the facts and what really is what. As you can see, via electronic delivery, John Hyland and Reginald Wright regarding Mighty Bolton / Art of Dialogues copyright protection through his attorney, Mr. McGriff, if you will. And you can clearly see that it says here, dear sirs, we are the counsel to Mighty Bolton and the Art of Dialogue, LLC, Bolton. It has come to my client's attention that you have engaged in an unauthorized use, the unauthorized use of Bolton's intellectual property, including copyrighted material and trademarks, the Bolton IP. The Bolton IP in question is found at the timestamps mark of 2 minutes and 17 seconds to 4 minutes and 29 seconds of the following link. And you see the link right there. The next line, the unauthorized use of Bolton's IP appeared also at 4:18 and to 6:11 of the following link. And that's another link that they're alleging that the his copyrighted material is appearing at, if you will. And so the link to the unauthorized use is currently unavailable due to Bolton asserting his rights as owner of the Bolton IP. The unauthorized use does not fall into any of the major exceptions to the rule expressly required that any user obtain a license to use third-party copyrighted material. Such major exceptions include as following: private or personal use, criticism or review of the related copyrighted material, and the fair use exception. Clearly, neither of the first exceptions apply to the unauthorized use. Furthermore, the unauthorized use doesn't fall into the fair use exception, which allows a third party to use copyrighted material without obtaining authorization from the copyright owner, so long as it is transformative in the use of the work. A transformative use allows for an unauthorized use of a copyrighted work if the use of such work is in a new way or a different purpose, such as a critique or a parody. Here, the purposes of the unauthorized use is exactly the same as Bolton's use of his copyrighted material, i.e., an interview of the same individual posted on YouTube. We hereby demand that you cease and desist from using the Bolton's IP, including any further use of the Art of Dialogue's intellectual property, material, or trademarks. Ladies and gentlemen, And I'm going to show you this before I get into the actual conversation about this piece here. I want to show you, this is a cease and desist letter. Basically, this is a cease and desist letter, letting one know, putting one on notice. Hey, you know what? I don't really want to sue you, but if I have to, I will. Let me show you this. This is an actual lawsuit in which Reggie Wright Jr., an individual doing business as Bomb1st, as part owner, if you will, or what have you, in Bomb1st, against myself in my channel, Straight Game TV. And I'll show you also, as it is in dealing with the actual, as you can see right here. That's the lawsuit. Here's the case number, and so have you. So Bomb1st and Gullible John and Reggie Wright Jr. are now in their feelings. Why? When they sued me, they didn't give me a warning. Furthermore, I did not need a warning because the lawsuit in itself was frivolous. Let's be clear. It was frivolous. Number one, they did not have the material in which they were claiming that was infringed, copyrighted at all in the Library of Congress. That's number one. That's prima facie evidence that you have to have a legal copyright in the Library of Congress before you can even file a copyright lawsuit. That was number one. They didn't have it. Number two, the second allegation was that I defamed Reggie by calling him Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. And once again, I showed clearly in where Reggie in a video basically said that he cooperated with the FBI. He had made that public and saying that when he cooperates with the FBI, all he cooperates against is niggas that he don't like and crooked mayors, if you will. And so let's cover the niggas that he don't like perspective, if you will, for a minute. That's anybody. That could be you, the dude that, you know, who used to be friends with him. He feel like he don't like you no more. He don't like something you did or agree with you. Then he begins to cooperate against you if he knows anything in regards to any illegal activity that you may be participating in. So that's what that means. Crooked mayors. And like I said, through his own admission, he said that. So therefore, in a lot of communities, and people say, well, he used to be a police officer. How could he be a rat? But once again, you remember, Reggie tried to straddle both sides of the fence. One minute he was on the side of law enforcement and wants to inform on people, but then the other side, he wants to sell weed. He wants to do all of launder money and do all of these things. And it's not until he's caught doing those things, now he wishes to change sides, right? So when he filed the lawsuit against me, everything that I had said was basically factual and true, based on the fact that he had already testified to these things, as well as Phil Carson in the dossier podcast, which informed Reggie that he was noted as a 137 informant, and explained to Reggie what a 137 FBI informant was. For all the people who know about this, they know about this. But they chose to fraudulently sue me without any merit, without any substance behind the case or real facts, right? I dealt with that, right? Didn't get mad. I had to come and file a response and do all of the things and waste my time, only to come to find out that, guess what? At the end of the day, it didn't stick because it wasn't actually a case. So now let's get into this. Let's get into this here, the Art of Dialogues situation. Now this here has real teeth. Number one, the letter is saying that the Art of Dialogues material was used from 217 to 429. I can tell you right offhand that wouldn't be considered a fair use. And I believe that the Art of Dialogue's attorney is right about this, right? So therefore, if Art of Dialogue really wanted to be common, He could have just filed a copyright lawsuit and had been right. Once again, the second unauthorized use of 418 to 611. Once again, you can use only so much of someone's intellectual property under the fair use doctrine, if you will. See, most people don't know anything about this. They go willy-nilly and doing their thing, right? None of that is transformative from that perspective. And so when you don't understand that and you don't have the right people informing you about that, people tend to slip up and make mistakes. Now, or the dialogue in getting in contact with them and sending them a cease and desist letter, right, is basically saying, hey, I don't know what kind of conversation they had, but hey, stop using my stuff. And I would appreciate you would stop using my stuff from that perspective because it's not being used correctly from that perspective. This is what the letter says, right? So once again, like I said, now, when you understand this, there's nothing that the art of dialogue had did wrong. But in fact, when the lawsuit was brought against myself, right? When they brought the lawsuit against me, they didn't seem to think of it that way, right? They didn't seem to think of it that way at all. You know, here it is. And so, as you see, the joint stipulation of dismissal, the actual case was dismissed. So I don't understand when people, you know, who don't understand the law, they only understand the gibberish and the niggerish, you know, of what it is that people do and so on and so forth. If this is a business and you're conducting it as so, then you protect your intellectual property rights. Once again, in which Reggie and Gullible John tried to sue me, but did not have any kind of viable case, because every instance in which I use their videos, I used in the proper manner, right? And I did what I needed to do from that perspective. And so therefore, they weren't able to get my videos taken down because I used it in the proper manner. Evidently, they don't know what they're doing. And so there might be some kind of legal action coming down the pipeline. I don't really know. But like I said, yeah, they need to come into compliance real fast. Because like I said, and then making a video calling someone their enemy who's not their enemy, who hasn't really spoken out, right? And it's only forewarning someone of the wrong that they're doing is a little bit careless and premature. You understand what I'm saying? So now, once again, as to all of the personal business and who a person got hooked up with and hooked a person up with and so on and so forth, I can tell you from a personal perspective that the Art of Dialogue sent Reggie Wright Jr. money when he was in prison because I told him to. Right? At that time, me and Art of Dialogue had hooked up and I had been on his channel, which my video on his channel was one of the first videos to do 1 million views in the Faith Evans situation. Right? Right? And so once again, it's business. It's not personal. And when you find that certain people don't know how to conduct themselves in a business manner, you find out who they really are, right? So a cease and desist letter, it's just that, yo, cease and desist using my stuff because you're not using it like it's supposed to be used, you know, get a letter from the lawyer and so on and so forth. All of the personal attacks, it doesn't even matter because that's not business, that's personal. You see the difference, right? And so from that, it's very interesting. And like I said, once again, yeah, you know, when you handling your business and you're doing what you're supposed to do, this is a very well-crafted letter. The letter basically states what it needs to state from that perspective. Yeah. John Highland, Reginald Wright. And like I said, very detailed in nature and clear and concise. Like I said, once again, and if you wanted to know, like, when we're dealing, you know, strictly with the facts as far as, let's see. trying to get this. Yeah. As far as the facts, when we're dealing with this situation, I'm going to show you this. Look, Reginald Wright, doing business as Bomb1st and plaintiff DELRAY Richardson, DBA Straight Game TV, pursuant to federal rules of civil procedure, hereby stipulate to the dismissal of plaintiff's claim against defendant in this action with prejudice, meaning they can't file it again against me, with each party to bear his own costs and attorney's fees, right? You see what I'm saying? It wasn't a case to begin with. And once I filed my response in the case to them suing me, it was clear that they understood that I meant business. It was nothing personal. And that they could not win in court based on the fact they don't have a copyright paper. You can't file a copyright. I mean, you actually can, but like I said, in order for it to be worth anything, you know, it would be, you know, the judge sees it as a serious matter when there's a copyright paper presented and this has been documented with the Library of Congress. If it's not, it's the, you know, judge basically say, hey, you know what? This is a waste of the court's time. But see, Art of Dialogue on the other end, on the other hand, it seems to me that he, you know, he has his game together and his lawyer's on point about what's going on with him. So, you know, all of the disparaging comments, all of the, you know, all of that other stuff. Yeah, that's I don't think that's gonna work here. All of that the personal tax and things like that, I don't think that's gonna work here. Yeah, this is a little bit more serious than what Reggie and them tried to pull off on me. I thought it was, you know, a half-ass extortion move, right? You know, where, you know, hoping that I wouldn't respond, or, you know, like I said, I didn't even need to use my attorney for that. You know what I mean? Because I seen all of the errors that was actually in their case involving my situation from that perspective. And yeah, as you can see, it was dismissed. So like I said, we're gonna see what happens with this, man. You know, like I said, I see, you know, both sides of the argument, if you will. And you know, the Art of Dialogue hasn't spoken, and he's spoken through his attorney. And then this is the way that things are supposed to be done when you're doing real business. You know, all of those personal attacks and things of that nature. And for people that have looked out for people and helped people, you know, when they were down and out, you know, once again, this is one of those Reggie Wright, the same moves, you know, people that help him out. And 1 minute now he's saying that the Art of Dialogue is his enemy. You know, I don't know where that comes from, but like I said, once again, you know, yeah, this is going to get very interesting. You know, your boy DELRAY, Straight Game.